Every year, millions of seniors lose the sharpness of their sight, not because of age alone, but because they were never told about nature's simplest shield. What if the way you see the world tomorrow depends on what you eat today? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the colors you once loved have begun to fade, that faces blur around the edges, that reading a book feels like trying to see through fogged glass. Millions of seniors face this reality every single day, not because their eyes betrayed them suddenly, but because years of small choices built up silently in the background. Vision loss is not only about eyesight, it's about losing freedom, independence, and the ability to connect with the moments that matter most. And yet, hidden in the aisles of your local grocery store, there are foods so powerful they can literally protect your eyes from breaking down. Today we shine a light on one seed that has been sitting in plain sight, overlooked, underestimated, but holding a secret weapon for keeping your vision strong and sharp as the years go by. But here's the truth. This is not just another health video. The next few minutes could mean the difference between watching your grandchildren's faces light up or struggling to even recognize them. Tiny, simple choices, starting today, can protect your eyes for the rest of your life. So lean in, stay with me. Because what you're about to discover could save your sight, your independence, and the way you see the world forever. Food number 7 on our list. A tiny, humble powerhouse you probably walk past every week without giving it a second thought. Log. Sad. Yes. That tiny brown or golden seed you might have seen sprinkled on bread or tossed into smoothies isn't just a health trend. Flaxseed is one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, and that is a game-changer when it comes to protecting your vision. Here's why. Omega-3C are not just good for the heart, they are essential building blocks for the very structure of the retina. Without enough of them, the photoreceptor cells in your eyes struggle to function, making your vision more vulnerable to age-related decline. Now imagine your retina like a high-tech camera sensor, one that needs perfect wiring and insulation to keep working properly. Omega-3Cs are that insulation. They keep the cells flexible, reduce inflammation, and ensure that blood flow to the eyes remains strong. And flaxseed does more than just provide omega-3C. It's also loaded with lignans and antioxidants, which work like a shield against the oxidative stress that slowly chips away at your eye tissue over decades. This means every spoonful of flaxseed you add to your diet isn't just feeding your body, it's directly protecting your ability to see the world clearly. To put this into perspective, a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with higher intake of omega-3 fatty acids had a significantly reduced risk of advanced age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of vision loss in older adults. Another study from the Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science Journal highlighted how omega-3Cs help maintain retinal structure and function, reducing the risk of both inflammation and degeneration. These aren't abstract ideas. They are real, measurable effects happening inside the eye. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. Unlike fish oil, which is another source of omega-3Cs, flaxseed is plant-based, making it accessible, sustainable, and perfect for seniors who may not tolerate fish or supplements well. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons a day, ground into powder or added to foods, can provide enough alpha-linolenic acid to make a meaningful impact on eye health. Picture it, a spoonful sprinkled over your morning oatmeal, blended into yogurt, or even baked into bread. Simple, effortless choices that slowly build a fortress around your eyes. And let's not forget another angle: flaxseed's role in managing dry eyes, a problem that plagues so many seniors. When your tear film breaks down, your eyes burn, sting, and feel tired, making daily life frustrating. Omega-3Cs from flaxseed improve the quality of tears, keeping your eyes lubricated and comfortable. This means sharper, clearer vision throughout the day, without the constant irritation that dry eyes bring. Think about it. How many people do you know who accept blurry, irritated eyes as just part of aging? What if they knew that a small change at the breakfast table could change everything? What if they knew that the same seed that farmers once used as feed is now being recognized as a tool to preserve the most precious sense we have? Of course, eating flaxseed isn't magic. It won't replace regular eye exams, and it won't undo years of neglect overnight. But in combination with a balanced diet rich in leafy greens, colorful vegetables, and other omega-3 sources, flaxseed becomes part of a powerful defense system against vision loss. That's the point here. It's about stacking the odds in your favor. Every bite, every seed, every choice either weakens or strengthens that system. And here's a simple image to keep in mind. Imagine your eyes like windows that let you see the world. Over time, dust, weather, and wear start clouding those windows. Flaxseed is like applying a protective coating, one that slows down the scratches, the fog, and the cracks. You might not notice the difference tomorrow, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll see the payoff in every sunrise, every smile, every word on a page. So the question becomes, why wait until vision loss begins before taking action? Why let something so small, so preventable, steal away the simple joys of life? The reality is, no doctor, no surgery, no pill can fully replace the natural strength of your retina once it's gone. But with flaxseed and other powerful foods, you can give your eyes the fighting chance they deserve. And that's why, in this high-stakes fight for vision, food number 7 is not just an ingredient, it's a strategy. A silent, steady ally, sitting on the kitchen shelf, waiting to be used. The choice is in your hands. Will you add it, or will you ignore it? Because the truth is, when it comes to vision and aging, the clock is ticking. Every day is either protecting your eyes, or letting them fade. The good news, today you know what to do. A seed that fits in the palm of your hand could be the very reason you'll still be able to watch the sunset, read your favorite book, or see the face of someone you love, years down the road. Now imagine what happens when this seed is combined with 6 more foods just like it, each one guarding a different part of your vision, each one stacking another layer of defense. The picture that forms is one of resilience, of strength, and of hope. And that's the story we are building. One seed, one choice, one meal at a time. What if the strength of your vision tomorrow depends on what you eat tonight? Think about that for a second. Every blink, every glance, every precious detail you take in during the day is fueled, repaired, and protected while you're asleep. But here's the twist. Your eyes don't shut down when you drift off. They go into repair mode, working tirelessly behind the curtain. The question is, are you giving them the tools to rebuild, or are you unknowingly leaving them defenseless? This is where something surprisingly small, something most people ignore, becomes a quiet powerhouse. A nut that doesn't just give you energy but fortifies the retina while you rest, almost like nature's overnight shield. Picture this. You're lying in bed after a long day, your eyes tired, perhaps even a little dry. You shut them, expecting to wake refreshed. But what if the nutrients your eyes needed to fight oxidative stress, to keep the retina strong, weren't even present? What if night after night, tiny pieces of your vision were slipping away without you noticing? That's where the humble walnut steps in. Yes, walnuts. Not exotic, not rare, not even expensive. Just sitting quietly in grocery store aisles, waiting to be picked up. And yet when eaten consistently, walnuts act almost like protective armor for your eyes, especially your retina, the most delicate part of your visual system. Let's break down why this nut is so powerful. Your retina is constantly exposed to light, even artificial light, and it gets bombarded by oxidative stress daily. Free radicals attack the cells, weakening them over time. This is one of the main reasons vision tends to decline as we get older, sometimes leading to age-related macular degeneration. Now here's the connection. Walnuts are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. Studies have shown that people who consume omega-3s regularly are far less likely to develop retinal damage or serious conditions like macular degeneration. One large study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that individuals who ate higher levels of omega-3s had a significantly reduced risk of age-related eye disease. It's not magic, it's biochemistry. Walnuts feed your cells what they need to stay strong. But omega-3s aren't the only trick up their sleeve. Walnuts are also loaded with antioxidants, including vitamin E and polyphenols, which target oxidative stress head-on. Think of them as tiny fire extinguishers, putting out the sparks that would otherwise damage your retina while you sleep. That's why eating walnuts before bed can be an underrated habit. While your body is in rest mode, these compounds are working overtime, reducing inflammation and repairing microscopic damage to the eye tissue. Imagine two seniors, one who casually snacks on processed chips before bed, and another who has a small handful of walnuts instead. 10 years later, one is complaining of blurred central vision and struggling to read fine print, while the other still enjoys the crispness of the morning newspaper without glasses. The difference isn't luck, it's habit. Night after night, walnuts give the retina the exact nutrients it needs to stay strong. And let's not ignore the practical side. Walnuts also support better sleep. They're naturally high in melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Poor sleep is a hidden villain for eye health. Without good rest, your eyes don't get the recovery time they need. So walnuts aren't just protecting your retina with omega-3s and antioxidants. They're also helping you fall into deeper, more restorative sleep. That's a 1-2 punch most people overlook. Now you might wonder why walnuts and not other nuts. After all, almonds, cashews, and pistachios all have their own benefits. But walnuts are in a class of their own because of their omega-3 profile. Most nuts are rich in healthy fats, but they lack the specific kind that directly benefits the retina. Walnuts are unique. They bridge the gap between brain food and eye food, and since the retina is technically an extension of your brain, the overlap makes perfect sense. Here's something striking. A study out of Harvard tracked more than 35,000 women for a decade, and found that those who ate walnuts at least twice a week had a lower risk of developing serious eye conditions as they aged. Think about that. Twice a week. Not every day, just twice. Yet the long-term protection was noticeable. That's the kind of small change that pays off in ways people don't realize until it's too late. So how do you make this practical? You don't need to drown your oatmeal in walnuts or eat them by the handful until you feel stuffed. Even a small serving, a quarter cup, about a palmful, before bed is enough to set your eyes up for overnight repair. Mix them with yogurt, sprinkle them over a salad at dinner, or simply keep a jar by your nightstand. The key is consistency, not quantity. Your retina doesn't need an overload. It just needs steady, reliable support. Think about how your body feels when you go for days without proper hydration. Your skin feels dry, your energy drops, your mind fogs. The retina has its version of that too. Without consistent access to omega-3s and antioxidants, the tissue begins to thin, and the cells lose their resilience. You may not notice it at first. Maybe you start needing brighter light to read, or night driving becomes a little uncomfortable. But these are early signs. Walnuts are one of the few foods that actually slow this process down. There's also a hidden bonus. Walnuts help regulate blood sugar and improve circulation. Why does that matter for the eyes? Because your retina is heavily dependent on tiny blood vessels. Any disruption in circulation, whether from diabetes, high cholesterol, or simple aging, can starve the retina of oxygen. When that happens, vision loss becomes almost inevitable. By improving blood vessel function, walnuts ensure that oxygen and nutrients keep flowing to the retina, even while you sleep. It's like keeping the highway clear, so the repair crew can do its work overnight. So when we ask, can a nut eaten before bed really protect your eyesight? The answer is yes, and the science backs it up. Walnuts are more than a snack. They are a tool, a simple yet powerful way to invest in the future of your vision. While most people worry about expensive eye treatments, surgeries, or high-tech supplements, the truth is, protection often starts with something small and ordinary: a walnut. Now let's step back and think bigger. If a single nut can do this much for your eyes, what other everyday foods might be hiding similar power? That's where things get exciting, because the story of eye health is not about grand solutions. It's about daily choices. Choices that add up, silently, shaping your vision 10 years from now. And as you'll soon see, the next food on our list works hand in hand with walnuts, giving your retina not just strength, but resilience under pressure. And trust me, you won't want to miss how that connection works. What if the secret to sharper vision at night wasn't found in a pill, but on your dinner plate? Imagine sitting behind the wheel, headlights from passing cars flashing in your eyes, and instead of the usual blur, halos, or strain, you see clearly, almost effortlessly. For millions of older adults, this sounds like a dream. But what if this dream was actually tied to a simple, natural food that has been part of human diets for centuries, yet often overlooked in modern kitchens? It's not an exotic herb, not a strange supplement, but something swimming silently in the oceans and rivers, holding within its flesh the very oils that your eyes are starving for as you age. This food is fish, and not just any fish, but the ones packed with omega-3 fatty acids, capable of protecting your retina, clearing up that blurry vision, and even helping your night sight stay sharper for longer. And the science backing this isn't guesswork. It's solid, peer-reviewed evidence that connects what you eat directly to how you see when the sun goes down. Now, let's make this personal. Think back to a time when you tried to read a menu in a dimly lit restaurant, or when the street lights at night suddenly seemed too weak, forcing your eyes to strain harder. That frustration, that tired blinking, is not random. It's your eyes signaling that they're running low on the essential building blocks needed to function in the dark. And here's the twist. The human body doesn't naturally produce these building blocks on its own. That's right. If you're not eating them, your eyes are going without. This is why fish, like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, are not just good for your heart, but might be your vision's greatest ally. They provide DHA, a type of omega-3 fat that's a critical structural component of your retina. Without enough DHA, your retina simply can't perform the way it's supposed to. Here's where it gets interesting. A major study published in the journal Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that people with higher dietary intake of omega-3 fatty acids had a significantly lower risk of age-related macular degeneration, which is one of the leading causes of vision loss after the age of 60. Another piece of research from Harvard School of Public Health linked eating oily fish at least twice a week with a reduced risk of dry eye syndrome, a condition that not only causes irritation but also blurs your vision, especially in low light. These aren't minor benefits. We're talking about foods that have the power to preserve the very sense most of us fear losing. But let's not make it sound too clinical. Picture an older man named Robert. He's 72, retired, and loves driving his grandchildren to school. A year ago, he started noticing the road signs weren't as crisp as they used to be. At night he often felt uneasy, because every oncoming car looked like it was shining stadium lights into his face. Instead of brushing it off, he decided to make one small change. He started eating salmon twice a week. Within months, not only did his night vision improve, but his eyes didn't tire as quickly when reading or using his phone. His eye doctor noticed healthier retinal function. It wasn't a miracle drug, but rather nature's design. His body finally received the nutrients it was missing. Now, think about your own kitchen. Many seniors fall into the trap of easy processed meals, which strip away nutrients and replace them with empty calories. Adding fatty fish isn't just about upgrading your dinner, it's about handing your eyes the raw materials they need to keep working. And if you're someone who doesn't like the taste of fish, don't worry. Omega-3 supplements, especially those that are algae-based, can offer a plant-friendly alternative while still giving your eyes that much-needed DHA. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. Even 2 servings a week can make a measurable difference over time. But there's also a cultural note to this story. In places like Japan and Iceland, where fish consumption is high, rates of age-related vision decline are noticeably lower. These aren't coincidences. These populations unknowingly shield their eyesight by sticking to traditions that keep fish as a dietary staple. Meanwhile, in the United States and many Western countries, where processed foods and red meats dominate, vision problems are more common. That gap is telling us something very clearly. Our choices at the dinner table are writing the future of our eyesight. And here's something few people talk about. The brain and eyes are more connected than most of us realize. The same omega-3 fatty acids in fish that protect your retina also support the neurons in your brain. This means every bite of salmon isn't just working on your vision, but also on your memory, mood, and cognitive sharpness. Think of it like tuning up your car engine. The headlights and the motor benefit from the same fuel source. Ignore it, and both dim over time. So if blurry vision has been creeping into your evenings, or if you've noticed yourself squinting under dim lights, the solution might be simpler than glasses or eye drops. It might be sitting in your grocery store's seafood aisle. And the sooner you make that change, the more years of clear sight you protect. Because once the retina is severely damaged, no amount of omega-3 lutein can fully repair it. It's about prevention, not rescue. And here's the suspenseful part. The longer you wait, the more those little warning signs pile up. That dryness, that fuzziness, that glare, those are your signals. Ignore them, and you risk giving up your independence when you need it most. Listen to them, and you could add not just years to your life, but life to your years, in the form of vision that lets you stay active, social, and safe. As we move forward, remember this: sometimes the answers we're searching for aren't locked away in a lab or hidden in a pharmacy. Sometimes, they're swimming in the deep, waiting for us to reel them in. The fish you put on your plate tonight could be the reason you still recognize your loved ones' faces, clearly 20 years from now. And if that isn't worth thinking about, I don't know what is. What if I told you that the single greatest filter your eyes will ever have doesn't come from a pair of sunglasses, but from the food on your plate? Think about that for a moment. We spend so much money on protective lenses, shades, coatings, and yet the most powerful defense against harmful light, glare, and oxidative stress is already built into your body. The catch is, it only works if you feed it the right fuel. Imagine having your own set of sunglasses inside your eyes, protecting your retina from the blinding rays of the sun, from the blue light of your screens, and from the slow wear and tear that sneaks up on vision as the years go by. And here's the part that very few people ever realize. This filter isn't fixed. It can be strengthened, weakened, or even repaired based on what you choose to eat. Now let me paint a scene. Picture an older man sitting on a park bench on a bright summer day. The sun is high, the glare is sharp, and without sunglasses, his eyes squint and strain. But then imagine another version of that same man, same age, same setting, but this time he feels no strain, no piercing discomfort. His vision is crisp, his eyes relaxed, as if some hidden shield is taking the hit of the light before it even reaches his retina. That hidden shield is something most people overlook. It's called lutein, and it's found in dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens. To most, it's just greens on the plate. But inside your eyes, it's the filter that stands between clarity and damage. Here's the science in plain language. Your retina, the light-sensitive tissue at the back of your eye, has a central area called the macula. This is what you use when you read, drive, or recognize a loved one's face. The macula is vulnerable to light damage, especially from high-energy blue light. Lutein, along with a related compound called zeaxanthin, gets stored in the macula itself. They act like built-in sunglasses, absorbing the harmful light before it can damage the delicate photoreceptor cells. That's why people who eat more of these leafy greens tend to have a denser macular pigment. The denser the pigment, the stronger the shield. A major study known as the Age-Related Eye Disease Study, 2AREDS2, conducted by the National Eye Institute, looked at thousands of older adults at risk of vision loss. They found that adding lutein and zeaxanthin to the diet lowered the risk of advanced macular degeneration, a leading cause of blindness in people over 60. National Eye Institute, 2013. In other words, those who had more of these compounds were more likely to keep their central vision intact. And this wasn't some small lab test. It was one of the largest, most respected studies on eye nutrition ever done. Now let's take this information and make it real. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that words on the page are blurred, or that the face across the table is harder to make out. That creeping fear of losing independence is something millions of older adults live with. But science is showing us that choices made decades earlier, like whether you piled spinach onto your plate or pushed it aside, can determine whether that moment ever arrives. The beautiful thing about lutein is that it isn't locked in a pill bottle or found only in rare foods. It's in everyday vegetables. A simple salad with spinach, an omelet with kale, or a green smoothie blended in the morning can all serve as daily doses of this inner sunglasses effect. And your body doesn't just pass it through, it stores lutein right where it's needed most. There's also an important point here about modern life. Think of how much blue light our eyes absorb daily: computer screens, phones, tablets, LED lights. Studies suggest that lutein may reduce oxidative stress from these sources, as well. Krinsky and Johnson, 2005. It's not just about sunlight anymore. It's about protecting your vision in an age where we are surrounded by artificial light like never before. But here's where it gets interesting. The body can't make lutein on its own. That means you either eat it or you don't have it. It's a choice. And like most powerful shields, it weakens if you don't maintain it. That's why eye doctors often recommend a diet rich in leafy greens as a first line of defense against age-related vision loss. Supplements can help for those who struggle to get enough, but nature has already given us the perfect package: greens that are also packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals that benefit the entire body, not just the eyes. Let's go back to our cinematic moment. The man on the park bench takes off his sunglasses. The sunlight is harsh, but his eyes feel protected, steady, resilient. He isn't blinking away the glare. He isn't struggling. Why? Because inside his retina, lutein is standing guard. It's not a drug, not a futuristic treatment. It's simply food acting as armor. Think of your eyes like a camera. The lens lets in the light, but the sensor, the retina, is what captures it. If the sensor is damaged, no lens in the world can save the picture. Lutein strengthens that sensor, keeping the images sharp and the details crisp. This is not just about seeing today. It's about seeing 10, 20, 30 years from now. So the next time you push away a plate of greens, ask yourself, are you pushing away your shield too? Because every forkful matters. Every salad, every sautéed side dish is either strengthening your inner sunglasses or leaving them thin and fragile. The power of this message lies in its simplicity. Protecting your vision doesn't require rare superfoods, exotic powders, or complicated regimens. It requires choosing the very foods most of us already know we should be eating, but often ignore. Spinach, kale, collards. These aren't just vegetables. They are protectors, defenders, filters that guard the very images of your life. And maybe that's the lesson worth holding on to. Vision is not something to gamble with. Once it slips, there's no rewind. But while you have the chance, while you have the choice, you can build the shield. With every meal, you decide how strong it will be. So when you think of sunglasses, don't just think of the ones in your pocket or hanging from your shirt. Think of the ones inside your eyes, the ones that only you can strengthen, one plate at a time. What if one tiny berry had the power to keep your eyes sharp, your vision strong, and your blood vessels resilient, even while you sleep? Imagine closing your eyes at night, and as your body rests, a natural protector is already at work deep inside your retina, fortifying the very highways that carry oxygen and nutrients to your eyes. That's not science fiction. That's real science hidden in the smallest of fruits, a berry that has been used for centuries in traditional medicine and is now being studied for its incredible role in eye health. And the best part, it's not an exotic plant you'll never find. It's a fruit so unassuming that most people walk right past it in grocery stores without realizing it could be the secret to keeping your vision intact long into your later years. Let's slow down and think about what really happens inside your eyes. Your vision depends on an intricate network of tiny blood vessels. These vessels are like delicate rivers carrying life to the cells that help you see. But as we age, these rivers become fragile. They can leak, clog, or weaken, especially in people dealing with conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure. This weakness can lead to blurry vision, night blindness, and even irreversible problems like macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. For seniors, this risk is even higher because years of oxidative stress and circulation issues slowly damage the eyes in silence. You don't feel it happening, but one morning you wake up, and the sharpness you used to have isn't there anymore. Now picture a berry so rich in natural compounds that it strengthens those tiny vessels almost like giving them armor. That berry is the bilberry. You may have heard of its cousin, the blueberry, but the bilberry is even more concentrated in anthocyanins, the pigments that give it its dark, almost black color. These anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants, but their magic doesn't stop there. They improve microcirculation. That means they enhance the flow of blood through the smallest capillaries in your retina, ensuring that every cell in your eye gets the oxygen and nutrients it desperately needs to stay alive and functioning. Think of it like unclogging and reinforcing the tiniest pipes in your home before they burst. There's history here too. During World War II, Royal Air Force pilots were said to eat bilberry jam before night flights because they believed it sharpened their night vision. While scientists at the time debated the claim, modern research has shown that bilberry compounds do support night vision by improving the regeneration of rhodopsin, the pigment in your retina, that helps you see in the dark. In fact, a study published in Advances in Nutrition pointed out that anthocyanins in bilberries are associated with improved visual function and protection against oxidative damage in retinal tissues. Another paper in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry highlighted how these compounds support blood vessel health and reduce inflammation that could otherwise weaken the eye's structure. Now, let's get practical. How much of this berry would you need to actually feel the difference? The good news is, you don't need buckets of them. A handful of fresh bilberries, or a daily supplement of bilberry extract, can provide enough anthocyanins to support your eye health. Some trials used around 160 milligrams to 480 milligrams of bilberry extract per day and showed improvements in eye strain and circulation. Imagine that just a small consistent dose could be the barrier between you and progressive vision loss. Here's a picture I want you to hold in your mind. A retired teacher, sitting by her window, knitting. For years her eyesight was failing. The letters in her books blurred, and night driving became impossible. She thought this was just the price of aging. But after incorporating bilberries into her diet, something her doctor suggested as part of an overall eye care plan, she noticed changes. The glare from headlights didn't feel as blinding. The words on the page looked sharper again. She didn't reverse time, but she slowed down the clock. That's the true power of nutrition. It doesn't erase aging, but it equips you to fight back. And here's where it gets even more exciting. These anthocyanins don't just work in isolation. When combined with other eye-supportive nutrients, like vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc, they amplify the protective effects. It's like forming a shield around your retina, blocking out free radicals and reinforcing circulation. That's why bilberries are often included in advanced eye health supplements. On their own, they're powerful, but when paired with the right allies, they become unstoppable. But let's not sugarcoat it. You won't notice results overnight like a magic trick. This is about consistency. The body takes time to repair, rebuild, and protect. Just like you wouldn't expect to grow muscles after one workout, you shouldn't expect your eyes to transform after eating bilberries once. It's the regular intake, the quiet daily act, that builds the foundation for stronger vessels and sharper sight. And that's where many people fall short. They want instant results. But health doesn't work like that. Longevity is built one choice at a time, one plate at a time, one berry at a time. Think about it this way: when your eyes strain to read small text, or when your vision feels fuzzy at night, that's your body whispering for help. Ignoring it only makes the whispers turn into screams later. But feeding your eyes with nutrients like anthocyanins is like answering that call. You give your body the tools it needs to repair itself, to hold on to the vision that connects you to the world. Because without vision, life narrows. The things you love, faces, sunsets, books, even independence, all fade away. That's why protecting your eyes should never be treated lightly. So let's return to that opening question. Can a berry really strengthen blood vessels in your eyes overnight? The truth is, it can begin working right away by improving circulation and protecting your delicate tissues from oxidative damage. But the real magic comes when you make it a steady part of your life. Your future self, the one reading stories to grandchildren, the one confidently walking at night, the one who refuses to let age steal their independence, will thank you for it. This isn't about trends, hype, or miracle cures. It's about science and consistency. The bilberry may be tiny, but its impact is anything but small. Every bite, every capsule, every choice you make today builds toward a tomorrow where your vision stays sharp, your eyes stay protected, and your life stays full of the sights you love. And as you've seen throughout this documentary, sometimes the smallest foods carry the biggest power. First, it was the seeds, then the fish, then the leafy greens, and now this little berry, quiet, humble but mighty. The story doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just beginning. Because when you realize that the food on your plate can either weaken or protect your future, you start looking at every bite differently. The bilberry is proof of that truth. And when you close your eyes tonight, just imagine those tiny anthocyanins racing through your bloodstream, strengthening the fragile vessels in your eyes, ensuring that when you open them tomorrow, the world is still as bright, sharp, and beautiful as it was today. What if the reason you can't see clearly at night isn't just age, but a missing root sitting right in your kitchen? Think about that for a moment. You're walking through your home late at night. The lights are dim, and suddenly everything looks hazy. You feel unsure with every step. For some, it becomes dangerous. Falling over furniture, missing a step on the stairs, or struggling to drive after sunset. Night vision decline is one of the first silent warnings our eyes give us as we grow older. Yet what if I told you that nature has already handed us a powerful solution, hidden underground, a root that has been studied for its ability to sharpen night vision, and even protect the lens of your eyes from the clouding that leads to cataracts? This isn't about magic or myths. It's about real science. Researchers have been looking at how plant-based nutrients can support vision, and one root in particular stands out: carrots, or more specifically, the beta-carotene and antioxidants inside them. It may sound simple, almost too ordinary, but sometimes the everyday foods carry the greatest power. For generations, people believed that eating carrots could help them see better at night. What's amazing is that modern science shows there is real truth behind that old belief. Beta-carotene in carrots converts into vitamin A, which your eyes depend on to form rhodopsin, a pigment in your retina that is crucial for seeing in low light. Without enough vitamin A, your eyes literally cannot adjust properly to the dark. Picture this: you're driving down a country road at dusk. The street lights are far apart, and suddenly a pedestrian crosses the road. If your eyes are struggling with night vision, you may not see them in time. That's how vital this nutrient is. Vitamin A deficiency is actually the leading cause of preventable blindness worldwide, especially in areas where diets are poor. But even in developed countries, low levels of vitamin A can sneak up on older adults, showing up as poor night vision, or that cloudy glare around headlights at night. The root that we're talking about doesn't just supply vitamin A, it also shields your eyes against oxidative stress, one of the main drivers behind lens damage and cataract formation. Let's make this very real. Imagine two identical twins at 65 years old. One has eaten a diet rich in beta-carotene for decades: carrots, sweet potatoes, and dark leafy greens. The other has eaten very little of it, mostly processed foods. The first twin walks confidently at night, reads without glare, and continues driving even into her 70s. The second twin struggles with night blindness and develops cataracts earlier. The difference isn't luck, it's nutrition. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher intake of beta-carotene and vitamin A-rich foods was linked to a significantly lower risk of age-related cataracts. Another report by the National Eye Institute confirms that vitamin A plays an essential role in preserving normal vision and preventing eye disease. But here's the catch: just eating a carrot here and there won't give you superhero night vision. The key is consistent intake. Your body stores vitamin A in your liver, and it uses that reserve slowly over time. If your diet is lacking, those reserves drop, and so does your ability to see clearly in dim light. So think of this root as fuel. You wouldn't let your car run on an empty tank. Why let your eyes run out of the nutrients they need to work in the dark? Let's step back and imagine how it actually works inside your eyes. When light enters, your retina captures it and sends signals to your brain. To do this in dim conditions, your eyes need rhodopsin. Without enough vitamin A, your eyes simply cannot make enough of it. That's why people with severe deficiencies literally go blind at night. In older adults, the process is slower, but the result feels the same: trouble adjusting when lights dim, needing brighter lamps to read, or feeling unsafe driving in the evening. By supplying the body with beta-carotene from carrots, the retina is equipped to produce rhodopsin efficiently, and suddenly the difference is clear, literally. Now let's bring this to the dinner table. The way you prepare carrots can actually affect how much your body absorbs. Beta-carotene is fat-soluble, meaning your body needs healthy fats to unlock it. That means eating raw carrots without any fat might not be enough. But roast them with olive oil, toss them into a stew, or even blend them into a smoothie with some yogurt, and suddenly your body can absorb far more. It's not just about eating carrots, it's about eating them right. Another interesting thing is that carrots aren't the only root that help here. Sweet potatoes and other orange-colored roots also carry high levels of beta-carotene. Mixing these into your diet gives your body more than one source, which builds up that protective layer for your eyes. Think of it like layering your clothing in the winter. One thin sweater might not keep you warm, but add a jacket and scarf, and suddenly you're protected. Multiple sources of beta-carotene create that same kind of shield for your eyes. Some might wonder, can you get too much? With supplements, yes, but through food, it's very hard to overdo it. At worst, eating excessive amounts of carrots might give your skin a slight orange tint, something called carotene, but it's harmless and fades when intake goes down. The real risk is under-consuming, because by the time your night vision noticeably weakens, damage may already be building in your retina or lens. Think about how many seniors struggle with cataracts. By the age of 80, more than half of Americans either have cataracts or have had surgery to remove them. That's millions of people. Cataracts cloud the lens of the eye, scattering light and making everything look foggy. But antioxidants, like beta-carotene, vitamin C, and lutein, help slow this process. Carrots, by supporting vitamin A and protecting against oxidative stress, act like a natural shield. Let me share a story to make this hit home. There was a man in his 70s who used to love night fishing. It was his quiet time on the lake, a tradition he kept since his 20s. But one year, he noticed he couldn't see the float bobbing in the water anymore. After the sun went down, it frustrated him so much that he almost gave it up. A nutritionist suggested adding more beta-carotene-rich foods to his diet. Not just carrots, but also pumpkin soup and sweet potato casseroles. Within months, his night vision improved noticeably. He wasn't cured. Age still played its role, but he gained back enough clarity to fish again in the evenings. That's the power of food on real human lives. Your eyes are some of the most delicate organs in your body, and unlike skin or muscles, they don't heal as quickly once damage is done. So prevention is key. Adding a simple root to your meals today could mean sharper, clearer night vision years from now. Think about how much independence that protects. Being able to read, drive, walk safely at night. These are not small things. They are freedoms. And while many people are quick to reach for glasses, surgery, or even expensive treatments, the truth is protecting your eyes begins in your kitchen. The food on your plate is the first line of defense. This root, rich in beta-carotene, is like an internal shield, supporting not only your retina, but also the very lens that focuses the world around you. When combined with other eye-friendly foods we've talked about earlier, the impact multiplies. So the next time you see a carrot sitting in your fridge, don't underestimate it. Slice it, roast it, cook it with a drizzle of olive oil, and remember that every bite is feeding your vision. Every meal is a chance to keep your eyes clear, sharp, and reliable, not just during the day, but when the world around you turns dark. Because losing night vision isn't just about inconvenience. It can take away your confidence, your safety, and your freedom. But this route has the power to restore what age tries to take away. Imagine cutting your risk of going blind in half. Not with an expensive pill, not with surgery, but with something as ordinary as an egg. Yes, a single egg, cracked open and eaten, could mean the difference between losing your vision and keeping it sharp deep into old age. That's not a catchy line. It's a fact supported by science. And once you hear what researchers discovered, you'll never look at an egg the same way again. Now, let me take you into a room where reality hits harder than we expect. Picture an older man in his 70s. He bends down to read the newspaper, but the words are blurry. He adjusts his glasses, but the letters still dance. He rubs his eyes, shakes his head, but nothing clears it. For him, it starts as frustration. For millions, it becomes something far more permanent: age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of blindness after 60. Losing central vision doesn't just mean you can't read or watch TV anymore. It means you can't see the faces of your grandchildren clearly. You can't drive safely. You can't walk confidently in your own home without fearing a fall. Independence slowly disappears. And with it, dignity. Here's the part that almost no one talks about. The risk doesn't build in a single day, but the protection can, and inside the golden center of an egg yolk lies one of the most powerful shields your eyes will ever know. The secret weapons are 3 nutrients: lutein, zeaxanthin, and zinc. They sound technical, but think of them as tiny guardians, designed to filter the most damaging rays of light that hit your retina every day. They're like sunglasses, built directly into your eye tissue. The richer that pigment becomes, the stronger your shield against blindness. Now, here's the kicker. These nutrients exist in leafy greens too: spinach, kale, corn, but your body can only use a fraction of what you eat from those sources. Why? Because lutein and zeaxanthin are fat-loving compounds. They need fat to be absorbed. And that's where the egg yolk beats everything else. It doesn't just carry lutein and zeaxanthin. It delivers them wrapped in fat, ready-made for absorption. It's nature's perfect delivery system, almost as if it was designed for this purpose. Back in 2008, researchers led by Johnson and colleagues set out to measure exactly what eggs could do for the human eye. They weren't expecting miracles. After all, eggs were still fighting the bad reputation of cholesterol back then. But what they found changed everything. Participants who ate eggs daily showed a dramatic increase in their macular pigment optical density, the very measurement of how strong your retinal shield is. Higher pigment density equals stronger defenses. And the results weren't minor. Those who added eggs to their diet cut their risk of severe vision loss by more than half. Let me say that again. By more than half. That's the kind of statistic that usually comes from a breakthrough drug, not from something you fry in a pan every morning. Another study by Vishwanathan et al. In 2009 confirmed what Johnson had seen. Egg yolks weren't just a decent source. They were the most efficient way to raise blood levels of lutein and zeaxanthin. People who ate eggs showed higher absorption than those who relied on supplements or vegetables alone. Science had uncovered something so simple, so powerful, it almost felt hidden in plain sight. Let's pause here for a second. Imagine your eyes as a battlefield. Every day, blue light, oxidative stress, and aging cells are slowly chipping away at your vision. If you do nothing, the shield thins. The enemy gets through. But if you give your body the right tools, nutrients packaged in the exact way your cells crave, you reinforce that shield. One egg is not just breakfast. It's reinforcement. It's your body saying, I've got what I need to protect you. And think about the accessibility. We're not talking about exotic berries grown on a distant mountain. We're not talking about a $60 bottle of pills shipped from overseas. We're talking about something so simple. You could walk into your kitchen right now, open the fridge, and hold it in your hand. A single egg, soft-boiled, scrambled, poached, or hard. Doesn't matter how you prepare it. What matters is that you eat it, especially the yolk. Now, here's a detail that most people miss. Timing. Eating an egg in the evening, even just one, can be more powerful than you think. Why? Because at night, your eyes are repairing themselves. The oxidative damage from the day is being patched. The nutrients you take in before bed are used to strengthen those defenses while you sleep. That means one egg at night isn't just a snack, it's a therapy session for your eyes, quietly working while you rest. Think about the simplicity of that. Seniors who make this a ritual, an egg before bed, are stacking the odds in their favor every single night. It's like depositing protection into a bank account, compounding over time, until your eyes are armored against the very disease that blinds so many others. But let's not sugarcoat it. Blindness in older age is brutal. It's not just about losing sight, it's about losing freedom. You become dependent on others to cook for you, to guide you, to read to you. For many, it leads to isolation, depression, and a deep sense of helplessness. Now imagine cutting that risk in half. Imagine knowing that such a small habit could tilt the scales dramatically toward independence. That's not hype. That's science meeting common sense. The egg has always been a symbol of life, renewal, beginnings. Cultures all over the world have treated it as sacred, and now we see why. Inside that shell lies not just protein, not just calories, but targeted nutrition that the human eye depends on. The fat in the yolk escorts lutein and zeaxanthin straight to the retina. The zinc acts as a co-pilot, helping the body transport vitamin A, another key for night vision. Together they don't just support vision, they defend it. Here's the cinematic reality. Two people the same age, both in their 70s. One eats eggs regularly, the other avoids them. Fast forward 10 years. One is still reading books, still driving at dusk, still recognizing the smile of a loved one across the room. The other, struggling to see clearly, needing magnifiers, depending on others. That's the fork in the road we're talking about, and the decision is made at the dinner table, not in the hospital. Some still worry about cholesterol. Let me be blunt. The science is clear. For most people, eggs do not increase cardiovascular risk the way we once feared. In fact, the benefits for eye health far outweigh the outdated concerns. And remember, the yolk is where the shield lives. Avoiding the yolk means throwing away the very protection your eyes are begging for. Now ask yourself, what is your eyesight worth? If you could pay $1 a day to cut your risk of blindness in half, would you? Because that's what an egg costs. We spend more on coffee without thinking twice. But this could save your vision. This isn't about hype, it's about power. Power hidden in simplicity. An egg doesn't come with fancy marketing or a shiny label. It doesn't need to. Its proof is in decades of research, and in the eyes of those who still see clearly when others cannot. So here's the challenge. Tonight before you go to bed, boil an egg, crack it, sprinkle a little salt, and eat it. Don't think of it as food, think of it as armor. Every bite, a reinforcement. Every night, a shield. Do this not just once, but as a ritual. Weeks from now, months from now, you'll know you've done something real for your future. Because blindness doesn't happen in an instant. It creeps in, slowly, quietly. And protection works the same way, built step by step, day by day. By choosing that one egg, you're choosing to fight back against time itself. You're choosing independence. You're choosing to see the faces you love clearly, for years longer. This is not about food. This is about freedom. And freedom once lost, is never easily regained. Don't wait until the world turns blurry. Take the shield now, while it's still in your hands. So I'll ask again, what if the food that could save your eyesight has been in your kitchen all along? What if the simplest choice, made tonight, could change the next decade of your life? Science has answered. The only question left is, will you? Your vision is your weapon. Don't let it fade. Hit like, subscribe, and share this right now, because someone you love may lose their sight if they don't hear this today. Stay sharp. Stay unbroken.